Assalamu alaikum and welcome back. So, the Prophet told us alayhi salatu wasalam, that we should announce it. How to announce it? Scholars say that you announce it where people usually gather, and that is outside masjids, at the marketplace, where the thing you found was lost in the same area. So if I find it in this area, I wouldn't go 10 kilometers to the north near a masjid and say, I found something. You announce it near where it was lost. Of course, nowadays you can, if it's something of importance, you can announce that in newspaper, in TV stations, in the radio. You can also go to a police station, not necessarily returning it, because in lots of the countries, the police would take themselves. Yeah, Jazakallah khair, we will announce it, and they will take it because of the corruption found in many countries, unfortunately. But you may go and announce and say, if anyone comes and claims that he lost something, I found something lost. Now, you are not supposed to say, people who lost $1,000 in a wallet that was brown and has this description. If you do this, you will get 100 people coming and describing it because you have just given them the description. No, you should say, whoever lost something, I found money. Come and collect it. So someone comes and says, yes, I lost $10. No, you're lying. You're not the one. Someone says $50, $100. Then one says, yes, I lost $1,000. Okay, that's correct. What color is the wallet? So people, when they give you the actual and correct description, then you are to give it back to them. You don't have to say, show me a picture or give me proof that you're the owner, because the Prophet ﷺ made the description of the thing found sufficient. And that is why you should announce it for a whole year. After is over, can I take it? And the answer is, yes, you can take it, but it is not yours. You can take it and use it and spend it on the account that if the owner would to come after 10 years, after 20 years, and tells you that, yes, this is what I lost and this is the description, you have to return it back to him. Some people say, what about if I give it as charity? And again, this is permissible. You can take the money or what you found and give it to charity. And when the owner comes, you tell him that I gave it to charity. If he tells you, Alhamdulillah, khalas, I'd like to take the reward, it's over. If he tells you, no, I don't want to take the reward, I want my money, then you have to give him the money and the charity would be yours and Allah would reward you for that. What about the finding a sheep? The Prophet said, because ﷺ, the sheep cannot take care of itself, it's either for you if you take it, or for your brother, if another person comes and sees it, he will take it, or for the wolf. If none of you take it, then the wolf will eat it. So this is an encouragement from the Prophet ﷺ not to waste such lost things. No, you take it and announce it. If no one comes forward, you can use it and consume it. But again, it's like a debt to the person or to the brother who had lost it. These are almost the rulings about luqata. One more ruling that was not mentioned here is that what is the ruling of the luqata in the haram? In the haram area of Mecca, if someone dropped something, what is the ruling on that? It is not permissible at all to use it or consume it or do anything with it except announcing it until you die. Who would find something on the road in Mecca, in Haram, a wallet, and he would take it and stay in Mecca forever announcing it until he finds it? So it is not permissible to be picked up except for those who will announce and look for the owner of this thing. Unlike any other place or spot in the world, you find a wallet, you announce it, after a year nobody comes forward, you can use it. It's a debt in your possession whenever he comes, if he ever comes. In Mecca, you cannot use it. You have to keep on announcing and looking for the rightful owner of that thing. And that is why the best thing for you to do if you find something on the ground in Mecca is to either take it to the authority, better more, it's best to leave it. Because whoever lost it is a pilgrim, most likely, or someone doing Umrah. And he will come back and he will find it where this is a safe sanctuary, haram. No one is to be killed, or no one is to be harmed, or no one to be threatened or frightened. So this haram, if you lose something, you go back to it and you find it. And this is the magnificence of the haram area that Allah has bestowed. Even the trees, you're not allowed to cut them. Even the grass, you're not allowed to cut that also. The animals, you are not allowed to frighten them. Sometimes we go to the haram and you see the pigeons there, and you see young children scaring them away. And their parents are happy and laughing. They're not allowed to do this. Scaring and frightening these peaceful animals in the sanctuary, in the haram, is not permissible. So this is what, almost the rulings surrounding these two topics that we've discussed. We open the floor for questions if you have any.
Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh. See, if I find something, to keep it announcing for a whole year, it's like a trouble. So once the owner comes and claims it, if I give it, so I'll be not getting anything for the trouble I carried for a year. So very few people might do that.
This is something that is not yours. Islam protects the ownership of the people. So if you lose something and someone takes it, how would you feel? You feel bad. And if he announces it and you find it and you take it from him, how do you feel? You feel good. So likewise, you have to treat the people in the same fashion. Saying that you announce it for a year does not mean that every year you go to the masjid after Asr, I found something, and the following day, no. You announce it every now and then, every 1 month, so that people would understand that there was something lost. And then for a whole year, you don't use it. After the year is over, you can utilize it, you can use it, you can spend it as stated until he shows. But most likely after a whole year, it is almost impossible, difficult maybe, if not impossible, that anyone would come forward. Anyone who lost something. Of course, something of value. We're not talking about a pencil, something that is not that valuable. Nobody would look for that, and Allah knows best.
Sheikh, if a person uses something after 1 year and after a few years the owner comes back and the person who have used it is not in the position to give back, he cannot give back, he doesn't have that much money. In this case, what should he do? The second thing is that if we leave the things in the haram area and there are various things collected by the authorities, what should the authority do with that things?
First of all, your first question is that it becomes a debt. If I find $1,000 after a year, nobody shows up, I spend $1,000, and 5 years later, someone comes and says, with the right description, that this is mine, and I don't have money. It becomes a debt. So I try to my best to pay it back in installments, $5 a month maybe, or $10 a month. And if I'm unable to do it, لا يكلف الله نفسا إلا وسعها. Allah the Almighty does not burden a soul beyond what it can take and do. As for your second question, the authorities of the haram, they would look for lost and found. And there is a small office near the haram for the police department, and it is called lost and found. So you go and report something that you've lost, or give them what you have found, and alhamdulillah, by this, you don't have any responsibility. They do with it is that they announce it, and they keep on announcing it, and they don't do anything with it until I think a certain period of time, and then they put it in the treasury, in the place of the Muslims' wealth. Not for an individual, it's for the welfare. Maybe they would put it for the budget or the allocated amount to be spent on haram itself. Yes, brother.
Assalamu alaikum. You said that if we found the lost thing and the owner does not come, so it's a death upon us. And if we die, so will we be held accountable? As in another hadith, it is said that if we die having a death, Allah will not forgive us until the...
Yes, the issue of debts, my friend, is divided into two types. Debts that you are capable of giving back, and this is the one that you're sinful for and Allah would hold you accountable for. And it's a major sin. You can pay, but you're not paying. And the second type of debts are the debts on a person who is unable to fulfill, unable to pay. Allah tells the believers to be patient, to give him more time. And if you forgive altogether, that is even better and better. But if you don't want to forgive your debt, you want it, then be patient. If a person dies while trying eagerly, and he is trying as hard as possible to pay his debt, but he's unable, the Prophet tells us, alayhi salatu, that Allah will pay on his behalf. And therefore, he is not sinful because he tried his level best, especially in times of necessity. And a person needs an operation for his child. He doesn't have money. He borrows. If he doesn't, the child dies. So he borrows money and he does the operation, then he dies. He did what he could for his son, but he didn't have enough money. He's not doing it for buying a new car or for luxurious things. He's doing it for a necessity. Then he's not sinful for that, inshallah. This is all the time we have. Until we meet next time, fi amanillah. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.